welcome to another Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. And today we're going to be talking about 1987's Eastern Condors, which is also directed by Sammo Hung, starring Sammo Hung. Uh, this movie is slightly different than the other ones we talked about. What I really appreciate about these movies, Nathan, is they are very different from each other. Yes,
Oh
they are
yeah.
martial arts movies on the surface, but they do have much different themes. Like, the other one was like Magnificent Butcher was a very traditional martial arts movie. Uh, the Encounters of the Spooky Kind, again, martial arts, but had a nice horror theme to it, very gory and bloody.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Eastern Condors, which is basically a war movie with martial arts sprinkled into it.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about the three you picked is it could have easily been like, oh, we're just doing another traditional martial arts movie over and over, but instead what we got here was three completely different genres, where this one is a riff on action movies. It's a Chinese Vietnam movie, which I was so surprised to see. I just it's like I guess I never expected that. So I will say that like the variety on these is really cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they vary so differently because I wasn't really sure what to expect from them, but I'm really glad it kind of worked out that way.
Mhm.
The plot of this one is there is a group of 12 Chinese prisoners in America,
Mhm.
and they've because this movie is set in the 70s, even though the movie came out in the 80s. So this is
Mhm.
right after Vietnam has happened. Spirits are kind of low in America, but they want to kind of orchestrate this special operation, which is basically like, hey, you guys, you 12 people in that are here in this prison, if you want, we will give you $200,000 and give you a life in America if you go to Vietnam and you're able to basically stop the Viet Cong and whatever arms they may have, you have to destroy them.
Yeah, and they don't. There is a big mission to it all, but the dozen don't actually know what the main mission is.
No, it's very unclear at first, but and they don't really explain to them because they are prisoners and it's kind of on a need to know basis. And
Mhm.
there's one commander type of guy that's there throughout this who was also the inspector in Encounters of the Spooky Kind.
Yeah, wow. I didn't even. You are right. Didn't even make the connection.
So it's one thing you'll notice too is like Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan and all those, like they work with a lot of those same actors. So
Yeah.
they usually have like a special stunt team and they end up playing like a lot of the varying parts to it. So
Mhm.
we do get to see a lot of familiar faces from Encounters of the Spooky Kind. But anyway, they all eventually agree to go, and they all have like really different um, varying degrees. Sammo Hung's like kind of like the leader. There's like these two brothers. There's an old man,
Mhm.
and there's like a guy that stutters as well.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the guy who stutters. Yeah, everybody here has a different personality. There's also like a big dumb guy too. So it's like and they're very the personalities are very strong, and that's because there's so many characters in this movie. They got to make them stand out, which they did a good job of. I feel like I would have easily gotten confused by these characters at some point, but luckily uh they all have their own little touches and get their own moments if they don't die in the first few minutes of them getting to
Yeah, they're
Vietnam.
yeah, they're not the most fleshed out characters,
No.
but I mean they some of them are quirky enough that where you could spot them out from the rest of them.
Hmm.
So when how this mission starts is the immediately jump out of the plane and parachute down into Vietnam, and right away the stutter ends up crash landing into a tree and ends up dying.
Yeah, he ends up dying first, of course, so that makes everybody upset. Just right from the rip, everybody is just like, I don't want to be here, I'm tired of this, what are we doing? There is like a leader to the group, And then there's also Sammo Hung, who seems to be. I thought it was interesting that his character was more stoic and almost like a Rambo of the group, very like strong and action oriented. Because the last two performances we've seen of them, they really leaned into the comedy side of him, and this doesn't really lean into a comedic thing for him. Sure, he does some funny stuff, but not really the whole movie.
Yeah, and one thing too I'd like to know, and I'm just saying this just for appearance purposes, is that, normally Sammo Hung is a little more overweight, normally I
Hmm.
would say, than most of what you see in martial artists. This one he actually did significantly slim down for this role.
Hmm.
He wanted to be a lot more slimmer for this type of movie because he wanted it to be believable that he was like a prisoner. And uh, I was reading some trivia facts for this movie, and some of these are so stupid. Where it was, he's like it said like, oh, like on IMDb, like it just shows like, oh no, Sammo Hung is overweight, but normally he does a lot more acrobatic stunts that we wouldn't expect him to do. And
Yes, of
I'm just
course.
like, just really dumb stuff that people put in there. And there's another thing too. It's like Sammo Hung said he slimmed down for this role by giving up soy sauce and switching to salt-free soy sauce,
That's what the Wikipedia says too.
which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I mean, I think even I don't know if there's salt-free soy sauce because there's like low sodium soy
Yeah,
sauce, but there's not.
yeah, just a low sodium. I don't think there can be a no salt soy sauce, right? I mean, I guess you
I,
can.
I guess so, but either way, I was just kind of, it was really silly, some of these facts, and I
Mhm.
didn't really, which I will admit, so there is one thing on the Criterion channel I wish I could have gone back to. There is an audio commentary for this
Oh
movie,
yeah.
which I didn't get a chance to listen to before the recording of this, but
Does this
it would have been
movie
nice to,
does this movie have a Criterion edition? Because they had a bunch of special features for this movie.
I don't know if it did. I don't think it did, but I don't
Yeah,
know that for a fact.
yeah, because it has that commentary, has a bunch of special features. I actually watched the international version, which I watched the dub version again because I was just interested in that. And yeah, and they
Were they
had
British?
that. Some of them were. Like the old man was British. A few of the other characters were British, and then some were American. Which is why are they British? They're Chinese and American. But it's
That's
just
just what
funny.
you do.
Yeah. I'm looking it up really quickly, but I was surprised and thought it was really cool how much that they gave because I gave this one because I didn't realize just how notable this movie was.
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah, it
I
does. It's actually got a really cool cover.
oh, it does. Okay,
It just came out not long ago. It's spine number 1244.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this one I believe also spawned a sequel as well.
Gotcha. That would have been cool to see.
Uh, but yeah, like how the movie kind of just goes on is just they end up entering like this village because they have to meet like an operative there, and they end up running into like this old man who's kind of he's very insane. Like, he acts like, he's just like a real
Hmm.
crazy guy. He just says really crazy stuff. And
Hmm.
that man, I don't know if you were aware of this, Nathan,
Hmm.
but it is played by Hang S. Noir, who is a Oscar winner.
Really? What would he win for?
He won Best Supporting Actor for the movie The Killing Fields.
Oh, okay. I've never seen The Killing Fields.
I have. It is about the war in Cambodia at the time.
Hmm.
So like Pol Pot, like that whole
Yeah.
dictatorship and everything. He before this, he was not a professional actor.
Hmm.
He actually got that role because he actually was there and experienced some of those things.
Gotcha.
And he gives a really great performance in there. That's one thing I do want to specify that uh, The Killing Fields, I really good movie, and he
Okay.
gives a phenomenal performance in that one. So I
I'll have
just
to
want to
watch
say
it.
that. But anyway, he plays a crazy man who has nephew or like a grandson type of thing, or I think
Well,
his
he calls him his godfather in the English dub, at
godfather.
least. Yeah.
Godfather, you're right. You're right. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna make you an
and
offer
it's
you
a
can't refuse. Something like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Can you imagine if Marlon Brando did the dub for him?
I would love it if I'm just sitting here like that's is that Marlon Brando? But no, I actually liked this. Thought this performance was kind of fun, even if he was annoying, especially when we get a reveal later, where like all of them are hiding out in this town as they're trying to figure things out, and the Vietnamese, what is he like? Just a leader, just some kind of military leader, like a colonel or something, and then the crazy guy's like pointing at the Americans hiding. Is like, oh, look, there's an American hiding in this closet and then he's
And
so
they're
crazy
like,
that nobody will listen to
sure he
him.
is. Yeah, like nobody believes this guy at all. It's really, yeah,
hmm
he's like pointing all that out. So these people in here that they end up working with, they're not necessarily for the Americans. They're simple villagers that are just
hmm
totally against the Viet Cong and how it's just ruined their country. And they're like, we're
Yeah.
not really necessarily teaming up with you because we agree with you. We just really don't like them more.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what's cool about it. And then they also have Cambodian gorillas, three Cambodian women that team up with them that are kind of like, they're also on the outside. Which did you know who the main? There's like a leader. She has like green eyes. That's like very notable. You know who that is?
Go ahead, no.
That is Joyce Godenzi, who is just like a famous actress in China who was married to somebody at this time. And then I thought this was interesting because this was 87, right? That would be about, yeah, 8 years later, she would end up getting married to Sammo Hung. Which so they would meet here and they would later go on to marry each other, which I thought was cool.
That's a love. That's a love
Uh,
story, this
yeah,
movie.
so cute. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the performances with them. I mean, they're interesting enough characters and they are tough. They do fight a lot in this one. Um, Kind of like our very first action scene, which there's a lot of scenes too, Nathan, where there's people like going to the bathroom and it gets interrupted by gunfire. There's like at least three of those
Yeah, I
scenes.
I agree. There's a lot of poop and pee in this movie, like, or as far as like people being like, I gotta poop, like that happens multiple times. Like, I gotta take a dump.
Yeah. But yeah, they end up getting ambushed by uh this one, like all the military soldiers on like these boats.
Yep, that's like
And
the
there's
first big one.
and there's some like when like they explode some of these boats, like these people
Mm.
are like right next to these
Oh
explosions. And it's
yeah,
just I don't know how they could have dodged that or like gotten some like damage or anything like that,
yeah.
gotten hurt from that. But they are very close in this movie.
Yeah, and that happens multiple times. There's multiple explosions where I agree, where it seems like they are diving at the last possible moment. And that's what's impressive about this movie compared to the other two. The other two are impressive because of the martial arts. This one is actually really it is not I would not consider this like a true like martial arts movie. This just feels like
no,
an 80s action flick, like Missing in Action, Dirty Dozen. Well, Dirty Dozen's not quite it, but just like that kind of action war movie. And I kind of was impressed by that it with light martial arts elements.
yeah, it's I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't consider this a martial arts movie. It's just these soldiers can do martial arts. That's just
Yes.
what it is more so. And oh, too, I want to mention too, the last movie had a scene of a chicken being beheaded. This one also has a snake getting its head ripped off of its
Yeah.
body. And I
Yeah.
looked it up. That was a real snake.
It looked like it. While he did it, he like ripped the snake open, and there was like just like it was really gruesome. And I was like, that has to be a real snake. There's no way. Why? What's the point?
Well, yeah. That one was just like a scene to like show them that he was tough, that he could do
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Uh, but yeah, how the movie just kind of goes is they end up having these really impressive fight scenes. And this movie does eventually get pretty gory too
Yeah.
at certain points because Sammo Hung's character actually has a machete
Hmm.
and he's like chopping off people's hands. He's like
Hmm.
he beheads somebody at a certain point.
Yeah.
Um, this movie is surprisingly, well, I mean, I guess not surprisingly since it's a war movie, but I there was a lot more blood than I expected.
I will say it's more violent than you'd expect because normally you watch a war movie, you think of like bullets and people dying with like blanks being shot, which there's plenty of that. But no, this one's like that, like really gruesome machete kills, really close up, people getting the crap beat out of them. It can be pretty brutal.
Um, but yeah, we could go through and like talk about all the fight scenes and everything,
Yeah.
but I just want to more highlight certain things in here.
Mhm.
Two scenes in particular I thought was a little unbelievable and kind of a little silly
Okay.
was there's a scene where Sammo Hung like takes these palm leaves, like from like a palm tree, and
Yes.
he tears the leaf like the leaf from the stem. So he's got
Uh-huh.
these palm stems, and he just launches them like a slingshot, like into people's necks, and that just
Yes.
kills them like that.
Oh
That
my
just
God.
impales their neck.
That was like bizarre. Like I've seen some bizarre things in these movies. This one is a little more grounded, right? So like maybe in the horror one this would be work, but this is a little more grounded of a movie. So seeing him kill people with leaves was like I was sitting there like, what? What? How?
Yeah, that scene was just really silly, and I was just like, oh come on. I like
Yeah.
but and then there's another scene too where they're on a bridge and they're
Mhm.
all the soldiers are all like the
Mhm.
prisoners are all running like in a straight line and there's just a machine gun
Mhm.
somehow misses everybody but like two people.
Yeah, yeah, that one I was a little surprised by because like you said, it only hit two people on this tiny bridge and it hit them pretty bad and they just kind of stopped. And that's a big part because that's the big dumb guy and that's the old Unk character. I'm gonna try to get a hip with the Unk got shot. Yeah, and so they're both they're both out there on the bridge dying and they end up being the last bastion because there's like a whole group of soldiers coming in and they shoot them with the machine gun because they can sacrifice their lives. But I agree. I also saw them both of them get shot, and I was kind of like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like I expected everybody to be hurt from that.
I did too. I
Um,
but that's just a little parts like that but
oh,
um
what
go
were
ahead.
you? What were you gonna? Because we have to bring up the Deer Hunter ripoff that happens in the middle of this
Oh
movie.
right.
It's literally the Russian roulette scene from Deer Hunter. It's the because I can see it in my head of all of the team are trapped under this like building and it's filled with water and they're tied up and each one keeps getting brought up and it's two children that point guns at like the two dudes head and they just roll the chamber and shoot. So they're not playing Russian roulette, but they're being forced into Russian roulette. The crazy guy almost ends up dying. He ends up getting kicked out. But yeah, I watched that scene. I was like, this is just Deer Hunter.
It's literally Deer Hunter. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
which this one's a better one. I'm just gonna say I'm not
Oh
Deer Hunter
yeah.
but
Oh yeah. Deer Hunter sucks. I hate Deer Hunter.
which I mean people say that but I
No.
did
Oh
like Deer Hunter.
no.
but
The Deer Hunter is one of my all time favorites. So I'm just kidding.
anyway, yeah, there's little nods to that, and we do get introduced to like this evil general type of guy, and
Hmm.
he looks like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Like very fussy type of guy, like
Yes.
very like he's got these like glasses and he always holds like a handkerchief and he's just like
No,
like it
he
just
looks like an anime character. He looks like an anime villain. Like he's got like the mannerisms. He's like, he's got the glasses. He's a very distinct character.
oh yeah. He definitely stands out amongst all the other
Mhm.
villains in this movie.
Well, isn't he
And
called? They call him the giggling general, right? At least in my
they
thing, I think they
they
call him the
may have
giggling general.
I don't know if they did that in the sub version,
Okay.
but yeah, he is definitely the big bad guy of this one. And um we do eventually they do eventually run down all the guys. Like they die in various ways.
Mhm.
Uh oh, and there's like the whole plot point too of they don't reveal what the mission is. We actually find out like right after they land in Vietnam
Mhm.
that the mission was canceled,
Yeah.
and they're like we need you to come back, but they push on forward instead.
Yeah, because I think everybody
'Cause-
had already jumped out except for the leader. And the leader's like, well, we have to do this. Everybody's already gone.
Yeah. So they it does kind of come to a head at a certain point, because like the two brother characters, like the one with the glasses, like his brother dies, and he's basically like, I need to know like what's going on, and finally like the
Mhm.
colonel like kind of just like tells them, and it's like, oh well, yeah, we you can either leave or you can keep helping me with this, and they do
Mhm.
eventually agree to do that, and at the end of the movie they do eventually get to the facility where they keep all the arms
Mhm.
for in Vietnam, and like they have all these bombs and missiles and everything, and they do eventually get like the codes, right? Like they find like
Mhm.
the nuclear codes,
Yeah.
and the one of the Cambodian girls like steals it from the prisoners and is basically just like, this is more valuable to us than it is to you. Like we need this because these we don't want these arms destroyed because we can actually use these.
Yes, yeah.
And it ends up having a fight, and then Sammo Hung like cuts off her hand.
Yeah, wow. He just loves committing violence to women, huh?
Yeah. And her hand is just like she loses her hand in this fight.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and there was another earlier scene too where one of the Cambodian girls, it was revealed like she was actually a spy for the Viet
Yeah.
Cong.
Which I actually kind of like that scene because it's one of the villagers that's there. He's like, "Oh, there's a spy here." And he actually pretends to be a spy just for like a second, is like, and throws the radio at the girl. Is like, call this number, let them know that we're compromised. And that was just a ploy to try to get her to come out as a spy. And it's like this I don't know, I just remember this close up of her face and her eyes just like shift back and forth. It's actually a pretty cool little spy scene.
Yeah, in the subversion, it's the younger guy and the one the villager that joins them, and it was just like he's like, oh, like you're a spy, right? Like go on, say it. The fact you haven't said it proves that you're a spy, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, and there's a big final fight scene. Like everyone does end up fighting. We end up losing most of all the prisoners,
Hmm.
and all the women end up getting killed as
Yeah.
well. And it's just down to Sammo Hung and the general,
Hmm.
and they end up having a really long fight scene.
Yeah.
And again, like the general who you wouldn't think would be like this super martial arts expert ends up holding his own. And that guy that plays the general, he did stand in for Bruce Lee during the movie Enter the Dragon.
Holy crap. Wow.
And so he is an accomplished martial artist. And I don't know, have you seen the movie Kung Fu Hustle, Nathan?
I have not, no.
Okay. Well, he does play a character in Kung Fu Hustle who's also a martial arts expert. So, and that was 20 years after this movie.
Wow. So yeah, he kept a career going.
Yeah, so he is a very accomplished martial artist, but yeah, they end up having this big fight scene, and then what was it like? Sammo Hung like ends up shoving a grenade in his mouth, and his head just like explodes
Yes,
off.
yeah, yeah, because he there's multiple uses of grenades, but yeah, he just shoves it into his head. And this is I kind of like this fight because Sammo Hung beats the crap out of the general, and he just keeps getting up. I mean, the general looks beat to hell, and he still tries to fight him. But yeah, it ends up with his head exploding at the end.
Yeah, and they end up exploding the facility, and they have like this scene at the end where they're just like, oh, like America sucks. Like I don't
Hmm.
I don't like we're why are we fighting all this war for America? Because it's just three survivors left
Hmm.
at this point, and they're like, and they just kind of look around. It's like, all right, let's go to America.
Yeah, that was my. I love that because in the dub it was really funny. They're all sitting there, and one guy's like, "Ugh, I hate America," and then Sammo Hung's like, "Well, where are you gonna go?" I'm gonna go to America, and then that's the
Yeah,
great
yeah,
final
basically.
and like final line of a movie.
and they're kind of just like wandering off because they're expecting like a helicopter to show off, and they do like this. They pan out
Mm-hmm.
of of the cave that they get out of, and then there's just the helicopter just kind of like jump scares into frame.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Look, they got saved. But there's a sequel.
Yeah,
I gotta know what happens. Does it crash?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I Let me make sure there's actually a sequel.
Oh. There is an Eastern Condors 2, but it's a short, and it was
No,
made in 2020.
it's a fan film. Okay, that's me not looking up far enough into it. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So I gotta know. Estimated budget $300.
yep. But yeah, I like this movie. I mean, it was good. I mean, like even for like a war movie, it's pretty decent, I thought. I mean,
Mhm.
I had a good time watching it. I'm trying to decide if I was more entertained by the other two and where this one kind of falls in. Like I think like I had a lot more entertainment or a lot more fun in like one of the other two
Mm,
movies, but I still really liked this one. Like I still thought it was pretty entertaining.
mhm.
I got a lot of cool action sequences and um yeah, just I really like this one.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I enjoyed this one. Just like a fun action movie. And that's why it's hard to compare it to the other two because I do think this
They're
one is
so
like,
different, yeah.
yeah, this one is so far removed. But I think I did like the other two better. I think the Magnificent Butcher was my favorite of the bunch just because I like the traditional martial arts movie. But this one holds its own. It's still a really fun movie, and I would rewatch it. Like I feel like that's like a good sign of like I'd go back and check this one out again because I had such a good time with it. So this is one you should check out if you never have.
Absolutely. I think all three of the movies that we watched this month with him, I would definitely I would rewatch any of those again.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, good. I'm glad I did this so that way I got a little more appreciation for Sammo Hung because
Hmm.
I don't think either one of us really experienced with him all that much. So
No.
we both got a little taste of it. So it's good. So we know we have anybody that we could fall back on to a filmography. He's another one we could turn to, I
Oh
think.
yeah, yeah, you're right. Him and Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah,
No, but
just have
I
it.
yeah.
Samo Steven month.
Oh my
Samo
God,
Seagal.
no. I that's too good to not use, but I feel like we could do Samo Stallone. We need to go back to Stallone at some point.
True.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna do it though for Sammo Hung.
Mhm.
So Nathan, why don't you go ahead and talk to us on what we're going to be doing next time?
All right. Well, it is that time again. It's been 3 weeks. It's time for John Zilla. Where we go over on Tuesday a John Carpenter movie and on Thursday a Godzilla movie. And moving through John Carpenter's filmography, we just did a TV movie from him. So why don't we do another TV movie from him? We are going to be doing 1979's Elvis starring Kurt Russell, which we found a copy over on Daily Motion. So Google search that one if you do want to watch it. I'm interested because I didn't even know it was a thing until I started up this retrospective. Um, yeah, and it's 3 hours. But Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, I just want to say we got to watch it anyway, just for the completionist's
We
sake,
have
because
to.
we have to watch every single John Carpenter movie.
Hmm.
But I am excited to watch that one. So here's the other one we're going to be talking about on Thursday. We're going to be talking about Godzilla Tokyo SOS. That
Hmm.
is free on YouTube.
Nice. Okay, cool. So both of ours are found on video websites for free. I'm happy to hear that.
We do love free over here.
Yes, we do. I love a good free movie.
You know what else is free? Sending us an email over to driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. Just let us know your thoughts and opinions about the episodes. Or if you have any recommendations you'd like us to talk about, feel free to email us over there. And also check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast. But until next time.
Until next time.